Hello my dear students. So today we will study in the first chapter, that is reproduction in lower and higher plants. Subtopic double fertilization. So what is the meaning of double fertilization? So when the fusion of one male gamete with the egg and another male gamete with the secondary nucleus, that is called double fertilization. Two fusions takes place. Now here this double fertilization takes place in case of plants. Okay. Now what happened? In the previous video we have discussed when the pollen grain from the anther, it lands on the stigma, and their stigma that develops the pollen tube, isn't it? And that will carry the two male gametes, and which will later on enters into the ovule, and then the fertilization takes place. So that fertilization we will discuss here. Okay. So here this is the structure of the ovule, and this one is the embryo sac. Now here you can see the parts of the embryo sac already we have discussed here. That is, there are the synergids, okay, one in the center, that is the egg, that is the gamete, female gamete. This one is the polar nuclei or the secondary nucleus, and these are the three antipodal cells. Now integuments are there, fine. This one is the chalizal end, this one is the micropylar end. Now after the formation of the pollen tube, how that will enters into the ovule? So for this also means from which path that is entering. Now here there is one name is there, porogamy. Porogamy, when the pollen tube enters through the micropyle from here. If it will enter that pollen tube, then that one is called the porogamy. Okay. Now if the pollen tube enters from the chalaza side, okay, from here. So this pollen tube enters into from the chalaza side. I will show with another pen from this side. So what happened? That will move here and then enters to like this. So this is called chalazogamy. From the chalaza side, if the pollen tube enters into the ovule. Now next is the integuments. If through the integument, these two are the integuments. If from the integuments pollen tube enters like this and then here. So these are the three terms, that is the porogamy, chalazogamy and mesogamy, depend upon from which part of the ovule that pollen tube is entering. So if enters into the micropyle, that is called porogamy. If it enters into the chalaza side, that is called chalazogamy. And if pollen tube enters from the integuments, then that is called through the, that is mesogamy. So these are the three terms they have given. Now, okay. Now, the male gamete which are non-motile, and that is entering and reaching up to the female gamete through the pollen tube. So such type of fertilizations, look here, that is a spinogamy. The fertilization process in which non-motile male gamete are transported to the female gamete through a pollen tube. So such type of fertilization, that is called the spinogamy. Okay. Now I said double fertilization, two fusion will take place. Look here. One is the syngamy, another one is the triple fusion. Now what is the syngamy? When the one male gamete fuses with the egg, this one. So and to form the zygote, and then the zygote will be diploid, and that is called syngamy. Now how this will happen? See, when the pollen tube enters into the this one here, when as soon as it will enters into the ovule, now what happens? These two synergids, they will show the path to the pollen tube to enters into this one. Now as soon as it will enter, pollen tube will absorb the moisture from the synergids, and when it absorbs the moisture, it will rupture. And when it rupture, the male gamete will release from the pollen tube and it enters into the ovule. Now here when it enters, the first one male gamete fuses with the egg, okay, and then to form the diploid zygote, and this fusion of male gamete with the egg is called syngamy. Okay. Now another male gamete is also there, that will also enter and move further, and that will combine or the fuse with the secondary nucleus. This polar nuclear or secondary nucleus is already in the diploid condition. Fine. So single haploid male gamete fuse with the diploid polar nuclei, and then it will form triploid endosperm. That is the condition. After the fusion, it will be 3 and triploid. Now look here. See, other male gamete fuses with the secondary nucleus, that is diploid, to form primary endosperm nucleus, PEN, okay, after the fusion, and this PN is triploid, that later develops into triploid endosperm. What will be the function of endosperm? To provide the nourishment to the developing embryo. Okay, so in this way, two fusion of the male gamete take place. One with the egg, that is called syngamy, another with the polar nuclei, that is called the triple fusion. Triple why? Because triploid endosperms is formed, this one, into triploid endosperm, because 3N condition is this one. So this is all about the double fertilization. So what is sphenogamy? When non-motile male gamete enters or reach up to the egg with the help of pollen tube. So that type of fertilization is this one. Okay, and here porogamy, chalezogamy and the mesogamy. Okay, now after this, the next is the development of the endosperm. Now why this development of the endosperm or the endosperm is required? As I told, endosperm will provide the nourishment to the developing embryo. Now after this, what happened? After the fertilization, the embryo development and endosperm development will take simultaneously. Okay, so we will discuss that one by one. So first one is the development of endosperm, how it will take. So depending upon the development of endosperm, there are three types of endosperms. That is the nuclear endosperm, then cellular endosperm, then halobial endosperm. Now what is nuclear endosperm? When this PEN, what is this PEN? Primary endosperm nucleus, that is formed after the fusion of the polar nuclei and the male gamete. So when PEN, that is pen, undergo free nuclear division mitotically, okay, and without cytokinesis, so only the karyokinesis is taking place, not the cytokinesis. Now after that, result in the large number of triploid nucleus in the cytoplasm. Later on, the wall formation, means later on the cytokinesis will take. So first karyokinesis, large number of triploid nuclei will be there in the cytoplasm. Later on, around each nucleus, triploid nucleus, then there will be cytokinesis or the wall formation will take place, and those will arrange centripetally like this. See, around the wall with the help of this periphery portion that will arrange all the nucleus, and they are arranged centripetally manner. So this is called the nuclear endosperm, such type of development, and this one is common, mostly found in wheat, rice. So all such plant, they have such type of endosperm. What is the function of endosperm? To provide nourishment. Okay. Next is a cellular endosperm. Here in this case, what happened? That is pen, triploid primary endosperm nucleus. Okay. Undergo nuclear division, which is followed by cytokinesis continuously. Karyokinesis, then cytokinesis. Endosperm development that occur right from the beginning. You can see all the nucleus, then around the cytoplasm, that cytokinesis wall is also there. So continuously the development is taking place, and from the beginning, and that mostly they are found in the dicot. You can see such type of endosperm. This is called cellular endosperm. Fine. So in the nuclear endosperm, all the nuclei periphery they are arranged. In the cellular one, throughout the endosperm they are present, mostly in the dicot that is found. Okay. Now to the last one is the halobial endosperm. Now how this will form? Now first division of pen is primary endosperm nucleus, is followed by the wall formation. So first karyokinesis, then what happened? Wall formation. So that is divided into two chambers. Okay. So here that divides to two. So as a result, what happened? Central cell is divided into two, the larger micropylar and the smaller chalazal chamber. So micropylar and the chalazal chamber, they are divided. Then after this major division, then further division will take place in each chamber. And then those nuclei are arranged like this in a periphery, this way. So such type of development or the structure, that is called the halobial endosperm. And this is mostly found in the monocots. So these are the three types of endosperm, depend upon the developmental age stages, how they divide. See, in this case, what happened? First karyokinesis, cytokinesis later on, when large number of triploid nuclei are there, then they arrange periphery. Then next is a cellular one. Right from the beginning, both the things, scarokinesis, cytokinesis, and they are distributed uniformly. Then halobial, in this what happened? First the major division, 2 chambers, then the further divisions takes place and they are arranged like this. So these are the development of the endosperm. Different type of endosperms are there. After that, we will discuss about the development of the embryo. So these endosperm and the embryo development take simultaneously. Fine. So this is all about the double fertilization. Then depending upon from where the pollen tube is entering, these are the 3 terms. Then what is syngamy, what is triple fusion, what is spinogamy, then these 3 types of endosperms. Okay. So just have a look of this one.